Welcome to the Agape Podcast. I'm Beck, a passionate, sold-out lover of Jesus who accidentally started a Christian singles ministry, and now I want to help as many people as possible to find their husband or wife while being super healthy and full of hope. So get ready for some real, raw talk about all things singleness and dating. Hello everyone and welcome to the Agape Podcast. I am so excited that you're joining us today. It has been a while since I've recorded a podcast, I have to say, and that's mainly because I found out I was pregnant and then life got really crazy and I got really sick. Guys, I'm not even gonna lie, I've been so unwell. It's been 2.5 months. Oh gosh, I wish it was only weeks. 2.5 months of just feeling terrible. I think the best way to describe it is imagine being seasick all day, every day, and there's nothing you can do to really fix it. And so, yes, please be kind to pregnant people because I honestly never realized how intense morning sickness is and how much it's not just in the morning, it's all through the day. So I have been a little bit MIA, especially with podcasts, so I do apologize. I've basically been in my pajamas most days, unable to move and do things. And so for somebody who's very active, very go, it has been not the easiest adjustment. Also, none of your clothes fit. So it's you're kind of adjusting to a different lifestyle, a different schedule, being unwell. Basically, the only thing I've been able to keep down is like pizza and carbs and pasta and the things that I never eat. So that's been really fun. So part of it was I wasn't sure if I was putting on baby weight or if it was just my pasta belly that was coming out. But now I definitely have a little baby belly. So it's cute, it's fun, and I'm entering my second trimester. I've entered my second trimester, so really praying that it doesn't end up being like this the whole time. So all that to say, it's been a little while since I've done a podcast, but I really just felt today I wanted to talk about the concept of giving everybody a chance and, the 3-date rule. Because I had a conversation with some friends the other day, 2 of my admins actually for my singles group, and we were talking about this and there was just such amazing insights that they were bringing up and things that apparently I had said to them that I'd completely forgotten about. And I thought, what a great topic to bring up in today's discussion. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the concept of giving everybody a chance. And so I was sitting there with one of my girlfriends and she actually said to me, oh, Beck, you challenged me to do this. I listened to something that you had said or done and you challenged me to do this and it actually brought so much fruit in my life. And I was like, oh, okay, keep going. Tell me more. She said, there was people that I would never have considered normally or even thought that we would hit it off. And before I might have even said no, straight away. But she said some of those interactions lasted a good couple months, some even up to 3 months, because she so much enjoyed the person, so much enjoyed their character, who they were, getting to know them, that those interactions lasted way longer than she thought they would. Now, obviously, they didn't start dating, but she learned a lot about herself in the process. She learned about what she liked, what kind of person she likes, what kind of characteristics she likes in people. And I find this usually does happen. And so the concept of giving everybody a chance, obviously don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying if they're unsafe or you get serial killer vibes from them. No, Janet, that's not what I'm saying. You can not get to know them. But if you genuinely believe they're a good person, they love Jesus, there's nothing wrong with them, actually giving them a chance and having one coffee, I really would encourage every person to do that. And I have been coaching girls for a while now, and the ones who have done this, honestly, have incredibly had so much breakthrough, has seen so much change in their lives because they've been more open, which means they've projected availability to other men. So other men have started to approach them more and more. They start to get more dates. They start to really get to know different kinds of people and then say, oh, actually, this thing that I didn't think I valued as much, I really do value that. Or they've even started dating this person because, I find a lot of people do base things solely on attraction, and that will come and that will go. But like we've been talking about in our groups recently, character is what stays. And attraction, I found, really can develop once you start to get to know somebody. Somebody that you have you ever had it happen where somebody's been really attractive and you start to talk to them and you're like, oh, I actually don't really like them that much and we're not really clicking. And then there's somebody you might not think is super attractive, but you start talking to them and you're like, wow, I'm so captured by who they are. I'm having so much fun in this conversation. I want to know more about them and they're becoming so much more appealing to me. And what the whole concept of giving, pretty much anybody a chance, and pretty much anybody that first coffee, it's not even a date, it's just coffee. It doesn't mean you have to marry them. And you're not giving them the wrong idea because you're just being open. You're saying, okay, I'm going to hold this really loosely. I'm not going to think we're going to get married. I'm not going to think that this is, a big thing. I'm just going to go and get to know a nice person. I think most people would do this with somebody they weren't even close to. If a girl asked me for coffee, somebody literally asked me today, oh, hey, I'd love to pick your brain. I'm wanting to go into business and I see the things that you're doing and I'd love to find out more about that. Cool. I don't know her. I met her the first time and I was like, I'm super busy, but I will make time for that. Absolutely. Shoot me a message. I'll help however I can. I don't even know this person. I don't know how that conversation's going to go. And when I was single, I used to do this a lot. I said, I'm going to be so open. Pretty much anybody who asks me, I'm going to say yes if I believe that, I'm not going to be unsafe or anything like that. And I got to know so many incredible guys. These guys are still my friends. One of them, it has become really close with my husband and I. One of them is one of my admins, or has become admins, and, oh, actually, no, I'm sorry, that's wrong. That I never went on a date with him. This is baby brain, guys, you forget. So they didn't become my admins, but they've become, so what I meant to say was they've become people that I've set up with other women. I'm getting people mixed up in my head. Seriously, guys, I forgot the word for hairdryer the other day. I was like, that thing that blows air on your hair when it's wet and makes it not wet anymore? And somebody's like, a hairdryer? Like, oh yeah. So baby brain is a thing. So I don't want to misrepresent myself and everyone's going to be like, oh my gosh, did you date Josh? Because no, I didn't date him. For some reason, I thought that one of them had become my admin. Oh no, so he did become my admin. That's why I was like, why am I misrepresenting? Am I lying? No. For a season, we did have an admin who had asked me on a date when I was single and we had gotten to know each other. But he's no longer admin. That's why I got confused. Oh, okay, so it's not baby brain. I am smart still. Come on. But yeah, we've had just incredible encounters with different people. I got to know so many incredible guys who even now I'm friends with. My husband knows them. They get along. It's just been a really great experience. And I saw things in them that I thought, oh my gosh, I really didn't know that I valued this. They weren't my person. I didn't want to marry them by the end. And I very graciously, if they asked, hey, can we catch up again? I just said, hey, if I really wasn't feeling it and I thought, some people you're just really not on the same page with. I just very politely said, I super appreciate you asking. This isn't something that I want to pursue at this time, but please don't be a stranger. If you see me around, we live in a small town, I'd love to, say hello to you. Make sure you come and say hi to me. Let's be friends in that context kind of thing. And just left it very open. And so that has meant that when I've gone out and been around town and I've seen these people, like, hey, how's it going? We catch up and it's just been really honoring, a really great experience. And so, and even having those conversations, it doesn't have to be awkward. You can just own where you're at. And I think it's actually super powerful to say yes, especially for women. Women, you start to really project availability. So many women don't realize how unavailable they are and how unavailable they seem to men. Guys want to approach them, but they're like, ooh, they have a big old, on their forehead that says, don't come near me. and they're not coming near them. And then these women are like, oh, I want to be dating. Why does no one ask me out? And after spending just a little bit of time with them, I'm like, hey, I think this is why. Like, let's work on this. And the shift is almost instantaneous. Just getting some key things changed, some beliefs really sorted out, broken off lives. It makes such a big difference. So I really want to encourage you. Start saying yes. The things that I saw in these guys that I went on dates with were things that I didn't realize were character traits that I was wanting in a husband, and they were the character traits that Nick ended up having. But I don't think if I hadn't have gone on those dates, I don't think I would have seen that, or maybe recognized how important it was to me when Nick came around and started, chatting to me and things started happening with us. I think I would have been a lot more like, well, this isn't how I pictured it, which is kind of a little bit how it went, but I was way more open because I thought, oh, he's got the kindness of this guy. There's a gentleness. Oh, he's really seeking the Father. He's so teachable. I didn't realize how much I valued somebody who was teachable until I started spending time with people who weren't teachable, especially men. I thought, gosh, if I'm going to spend my life with someone, I want to be with someone who, when they have an issue, like Nick, the first thing he does is he goes to his male leadership. He has them speak into his life, and then he does whatever they say. He really goes after digging out that root, getting healing, getting wholeness, because he wants to be a better husband for me and now a better father for our child. And he's been like that since the moment we got together, and it's been super tough. But I really valued that in him because I thought, oh my gosh, he's like a self-cleaning, washing machine. He figures, okay, this is actually hindering me. This is hindering our marriage. I don't even necessarily have to say much about it. But he just really owns, hey, this is what's coming up in my heart. Oh, I need to go get that sorted because this is causing, bitterness or resentment, or something's happening between us that's creating disconnection. I need to go and sort that out. And I was like, wow, what a humble, teachable person. Like, that's the kind of person I need to be with. And so that whole concept, honestly, is life-changing. And yes, I really recommend it. Again, do not hear what I am not saying. I'm not saying if somebody's unsafe, you need to keep getting to know them. That's when you have those conversations, or you say no in the beginning. No, sorry, I don't wish to get to know you, but thanks so much for asking, But I'm saying if they're a generally decent person, you believe in their goodwill, they're not a serial killer, and you can tell, I would just encourage you to be really open. And then the second thing I want to talk about is the rule of 3, the 3-date rule. And this is something, so again, I was talking to my friends, and one of my male friends suggested, and he actually said, I have a 3-date rule. And I thought it was so smart. And he basically says, I'll give anybody 3 dates. Because what that does is I'm open, and he's very open. He gets to know a lot of different women, and he's so honoring, so kind, really represents the kingdom well, but he gives them the time of day. Pretty much regardless of who they are, because he sees value in them, and he's like, I want to be open to getting to know them, and you just never know who God has for you. And so he's not limited by appearance or other things that might turn somebody off. He will generally say yes, and then he'll have a rule of, I'm going to have 3 dates with them. And so what he said that does is that in the first one, he has no pressure. He's not feeling stressed. He's not trying to figure out, oh my gosh, are we compatible? Is she the one? It really just takes that pressure off because he knows there's going to be 2 more dates. So he's just chill. He's getting to know her. He's, starting to figure out more about her. What's her personality like? Can they have fun together? They have a second. Then he'll ask, would you like to do this again? And if she says yes, they'll do it again. And I'm pretty sure 9 times out of 10 they will say yes. And then on the 3rd date, by the 3rd date, after that, he kind of just reassesses and, okay, am I enjoying this? Do I see this going somewhere? Do I want to have a 4th date with them? And yeah, if it's yes, then he'll ask them for a 4th date. But I just thought it was such an amazing concept because he's already pre-planning, okay, I'm going to spend at least three chunks of time with this person. So I don't need to be overthinking the first time. I don't need to be trying to answer all these things. I find so many people come into the first coffee and they're trying to figure out, is this the love of my life? which is such a crazy thing because I really personally don't believe you're just going to find somebody. You literally grow together with someone and they become your person. Like, yes, you might be compatible, but there's going to be so many differences, so many things that, you're not necessarily in sync with. But you learn how to love each other and you literally grow together. And so to try and every little thing, oh, I don't really like how he does that. Oh, she said this. I don't know if that's going to work. It's over-analyzing everything because there's so much pressure on it. It's so high stakes. You're trying to figure out these big questions when really you're just trying to get to know a new friend. And that's how I see first coffees. I don't see them as dates. It's not a moment of pursuit. If a guy asks a girl to coffee, I don't think that he's pursuing her generally. Like, you can ask anybody to coffee. Generally, what I've especially learned from talking to men is they're asking on a coffee or a tea or just an initial hangout because they're trying to get to know you well enough to know if they want to pursue you or not. And then once that clicks and they say, yes, I actually really want to get to know this person, then the pursuit comes. But before getting to know you, they literally don't know you well enough to know if they even want to pursue you. So that's the whole point of the getting to know you period. And for women, I totally don't think they're pursuing men if they say, hey, you know what, I've noticed you, I just love to get to know you a little bit better, or I heard you were talking about this, I'd love to know more about that. Would you like to grab coffee with me sometime? I don't think that's a woman taking the role and taking the reins. We would do that with, an acquaintance or somebody, we might not even like that much, but we were interested to find out a little bit more about them. And so I do think that if a girl does ask a guy to coffee, obviously if he becomes interested, the status quo will change and then he's the one asking and when he decides that he likes her, then he's going to pursue her. But I really don't think that first initial hangout needs to be, the pinnacle, is this person right for me kind of moment. But having a 3-date rule really has allowed this person to be relaxed, know that, hey, we're probably going to have another date or a date after that, and I'm just going to enjoy the ride. I'm going to just enjoy this person in front of me. I'm not going to put pressure on myself. I don't have to answer all these big questions. I can actually just have a really good time. And if things happen organically and naturally, awesome. And if I'm not feeling it by the end of, the 3rd date, then I'm just going to communicate that and communicate very clearly, very kindly, because that's what kingdom dating looks like. We communicate so that the person isn't left wondering. We're not ghosting. We're not falling off the face of the earth and never saying anything ever again. We are not cowardly. We are brave, and we communicate our emotions, and we have brave communication because we own who we are and we're powerful people, and we deserve to have people let us know where their heart's at, and people deserve for us to let them know where we're at. So I don't know, that's just one concept that I think would be really great for you to look at and see, is that something that I want to apply to my life? Should I be more open? And maybe for 3 months I'll do a challenge where I'll say yes to pretty much anybody. Just to be open. Maybe you want to do hey, you know what? If I'm interested and I'm thinking, hey, maybe we're going to get along, or even if I'm not, I'm going to give myself 3 dates to make any sort of conclusion. I'm not thinking about a conclusion. I'm not thinking, after these 3 dates, are we going to be together? I'm just going to take one date at a time and see it as an opportunity to get to know somebody. And then after that, I'm going to make my assessment as to whether I want to continue or not. These are just 2 concepts, but I think they could be really life-changing, depending on which one you're feeling the Lord on, or if you feel both. And I think, dating doesn't have to be this big, scary, nervous, anxious thing. The more people that I see around me just casually getting to know different people, the more I see health and growth and kingdom. They're not just waiting around. I think I've said this many times, but I interviewed 10 married couples, and I think 9 out of the 10, the woman actually initiated. She didn't pursue, but she initiated. She did something to let the guy know, hey, I'm interested, or I would be open if you asked me for a coffee, or I would be available if you should so feel that you would like to do something at some point. And, I do think there's a lot of value. Sometimes guys need a little bit of a hint or a gentle nudge or a smile or something. Sometimes they need more than a smile. Sometimes they don't get that. You have to actually say something. But I think it's totally okay. And it's funny because I was listening to Matthew Hussey, and he was saying, he's a secular relationship coach, and he was saying, so many women don't want to put themselves out there because they want the man to pursue, and then they think that takes away from them being pursued. But actually, women, and they think that it's like what is it? Men should be the ones pursuing. But he actually said that hasn't always been the case. It hasn't always been the man doing everything. Back in the 1900s, the women had the concept of dropping the hanky. And so if they were interested in someone or they wanted to get to know them, they would literally drop a hanky in front of them, and the man would pick up the hanky and then come and approach them. And that was like kind of just that initial conversation starter, that initial, hey, if you want to talk to me, here's an invitation. And that has been happening, I guess, I don't know how long it's been happening for, but it was a thing. And so this is not a new concept. It's not women being super masculine and pursuing and being vigorous, but it's actually just saying, hey, I'm opening a door, and if you want to walk through it, you can. And I've just found so much more fruit from that, from women being more open, and also men being more open. I've seen so many guys, like I said, my friend, just being open and really just allowing the Lord to work and show them the kind of woman that they need to be with. Not necessarily the one that they want or their type, but hey, this is the things that I value, and this is the kind of woman I need. And this is what I believe God will bring to me. And it really just helps to refine that focus. So I'm going to leave you with those two things. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Meditate it, ponder on it. Ask the Lord, hey, is this something that you have for me that you want me to pursue? Have an awesome day, guys.